Welcome to the SwimSwam podcast. I'm your host, Coleman Hodges. Joining me today, we've got a very special guest. She's an Olympic champion, a world champion, world record holder. Today, we have the pleasure of sitting down with Sjostrom.
Hello, and thank you for having me.
Big news in your life is you recently just got surgery for a broken elbow. You've been rehabbing it. How are you doing today with that injury?
Well, I'm taking day by day and step by step, and I'm at the moment I'm taking big steps all the time, and I can see some progress in the recovery, and yeah, I'm feeling good. I actually been back in the water for about 2.5 weeks. Still not allowed to use my arm, but I'm doing a lot of kicking, which I don't normally enjoy. So yeah, my legs are quite tired at the moment.
Post surgery, was after the surgery to now, has that process been easier than you might have expected, harder than you might have expected, just getting mobility or use out of that arm again?
So the first week I was just so tired after the surgery. I couldn't do a lot. I was just in my apartment, sleeping a lot and just trying to recover. And then but I did my rehab every day, and I was sitting on the bike a little bit, just super easy, because I was not allowed to do any kind of heart rate stuff that made me sweat because of the scar. So I had to everything had to heal before I started working. So yeah, the first 3 weeks was just super easy, maintaining work on the bike and rehab. And yeah, I mean the progress is great. Like, my flexibility is getting better in extension and in flexion all the time. So I'm just happy that this process it's actually going better than I thought it would.
Nice. That's always a good thing. And do you have a timeline for when you will be not on the only kicking plan in the pool?
So from the beginning, my doctor, he said you will not be able to use your arm for a minimum of 12 weeks. That's what he said after my surgery. But I just met him the other day, and we did another X-ray to check if the fracture is healing properly, and it did. And he said it will be no problem for you to start swimming again after 10 weeks. So I'm halfway now, and it's only 5 weeks until I can start working a little bit more. So yeah, I mean, it's still very bad timing to get a fracture and not be able to use my arm for about 10 weeks. But I just have to do whatever I can with this, what I have. I was very unlucky that I slipped here in Sweden. It was very icy and cold here, and I slipped. It was such a bad timing, but I'm just trying to do whatever I can with these 10 weeks, trying to work on other things that I normally don't have time for.
What kind of other things?
So usually, I have 4 hours swimming every day. Might go to the gym for 1 hour, but then you just do the main exercises. But now I have time to really work on my weaknesses, like my balance and making my legs even stronger, and also learn how to handle having a high heart rate for a longer time. On the bike, for example, it's perfect. So I have much more time in the gym to work on my lower body, which has been a big weakness for me. I have not ever been strong in my legs, or I always wanted to be stronger than I am. I feel like my upper body has always been so much stronger, but now I have so much time to work on getting stronger legs. So I think, and also doing a lot of kicking. So I think I hope that will be good for me. We'll see. At the moment, they are just very tired, but after a lot of taper later in the year, maybe that will give me something.
Yeah, I feel like I have seen a lot of athletes, swimmers specifically, sustain major injuries in their upper body, have to work on their legs, or kick only, or get on the bike a lot, and they've come back and really seen major improvements. I know this is the first major injury you've sustained as a swimmer like this. Did you have a range of emotions you went through, after the first 24, 48 hours when you sustained this injury?
So the first 24 hours, 48 hours, I couldn't even lift my arm over my head, or I couldn't move my arm at all. I had to ask my boyfriend to help me, like to get up from the bed, and I couldn't do easy things,
Mm-hmm.
So it was almost like I had to start from zero again with everything with my arm. But I got very, very good help from the Swedish Olympic Committee and the physiotherapists there. The first week they came to my house to give me treatments almost every day, mostly because my shoulder was very, like, it was not my elbow that's been painful. My shoulder was very, very painful in the beginning because I didn't move it. It was just like I was just holding the shoulder very, very still because I was scared to hurt the elbow. So then they had to come and like treat the shoulder to make sure I didn't get any problem with that. But yeah, like I think I wouldn't have done this so good if I didn't get all the help that I got from the physiotherapists. They've been super supportive, and yeah, the process is going perfectly.
And just in terms of your mental state, do you feel like you've been able to handle this setback pretty well?
Yeah, at the moment I still feel very positive because I'm getting better at things every day. I'm learning new things every day, and I'm getting stronger in my legs, and I feel like there is something positive coming out every day. So I just have to be happy with that.
Yeah. And I'm just taking it back a little further in terms of this year. Do you feel like this kind of falls in line with all the other setbacks that have happened globally this year?
Yeah, it's been a tough year for all everyone, and for athletes as well. I mean, I haven't been able to race that much the last yeah, almost 2 years now, I think. So yeah, definitely look forward to do that again. But it's been tough, so I just have to try to face this challenge, and try to come back stronger again whenever we are allowed to start racing again. It's gonna take a little bit longer than I was expecting, but it's mostly because I injured my elbow when everything started to get going again. So it's very bad timing, but I just have to take the challenge, and yeah, like I've done with all the other challenges I had before. This is obviously the toughest one ever for me, but I have to try at least.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, when facing this challenge, you've taken other challenges in the past. When this happened, and as you've gone through this process, have you looked back on other experiences and said, okay, I got through that. I can certainly get through this as well.
Well, now I have just been like, okay, whatever I saw as a challenge before wasn't really a challenge. Almost like that, like it wasn't a challenge coming. Obviously, it was back then, but like if I came fourth in Olympics, that was like a challenge, to try to come back again or whatever. But I realize now that I had a very, very high level for so many years. So I almost got spoiled with all those medals. And when I came fourth, I was like, oh, this is a challenge. But now, okay, this is the true challenge of an athlete, like trying to come back from injury. So yeah, I just have to try to to beat the challenge, obviously.
Yeah. So during this pandemic, obviously it's been about a year now since it started globally. Did you have to have a period outside of the pool where you weren't able to train, or pools in your area were closed?
So actually, the pools have been open for us the last year, and they even kept it open for public swimmers. They only closed it for public swimmers in December, so it took a very long time to actually close everything down. And then I know a lot of kids, they were not allowed to swim for a couple of weeks here, but they're coming back now to the pool. So yeah, it's been but for the national swimmers, like the Olympic and world champ swimmers, we have been allowed to swim all year.
Oh wow! So this is your first big break, having been outside of the pool in quite a while.
Yeah, actually, I did take a big break in June and July, because I felt like it was better to just keep on going all year and take the break in June and July instead, because that's when we have summer in Sweden and it's beautiful. So I felt like now I can, or I could enjoy the summer like I normally don't have time for because of all the competitions. Enjoy the summer in Sweden without traveling. It was quite nice, and I actually studied a lot, and I studied personal training in the summer. So I took time to do other things, and I also started enjoying running, which is very unusual for swimmers. So it was nice to do some other things for 10 weeks. It gave me a lot of energy and a lot of motivation to get back to swimming when it was time for it.
Do you remember how long you were out of the water for that period?
10 weeks, but I to be honest, like, it's impossible for me to stay out of the water for 10 weeks. I did go to the pool a few times, but I did like 2,000 meters maybe once or twice per week, just to have the feeling of the water. And also in the summer, it's quite nice to go to the pool, going to an outdoor pool and just enjoy the sun a little bit. So yeah, I did still swim a little bit, because I'm too addicted to the sport. I can't stay out too long.
But like you
So
said,
I didn't have a plan with my swimming for like 10 weeks. So that's like a break for me.
yeah, and like you said, that can certainly be energizing, and just taking that time of not having a plan. That's a
Yeah.
good way to put it. And did that help you, especially getting back in with ISL then, going from like kind of not having a plan to having a big chunk of training and racing in Budapest?
Honestly, I felt stronger than ever when I came back from my break. I had no idea why. Like, I was so good at underwater kicks, and I don't know. I had so much energy, and I felt like my technique was working in both freestyle and fly. I mean, it took like 2 or 3 weeks in the water before I started, really coming back. But I was surprised how quick I could come back after like 10 weeks, like without having a plan for the swimming. I was just doing a lot of running instead, and other workouts. But yeah, it was. I think I was just very excited when I started again after 10 weeks. To be honest, maybe that's why I felt so good.
Yeah, I mean that makes total sense. And then how would you explain the Budapest bubble and what that experience was like? Because it was something that I feel like swimming had never really seen before.
Yeah, or when I or it was a challenge before when I read all the restrictions. I didn't know, okay, this sounds so hard. Are we gonna be able to, because we were not used to those kind of restrictions in Sweden. Sweden has been quite controversial with the restrictions compared with the rest of the world. It's been very open. So I was scared about that because I wasn't used to those tough restrictions, like with wearing a mask all the time. I never even wear a mask once before coming to the ISL bubble. But now we have more restrictions in Sweden with that, by the way. But yeah, but then when I actually came into the bubble, it was fine. Like, I got used to the routines, and it was actually more social than I thought it would be. Because I thought everyone would just, stay in their room all the time. We were not allowed to do anything. But I mean, we ordered some takeaway food and played video games together. So it was fun. I felt like I got to know so many swimmers that I have been talking to them before, but I got time to hang out with them much more. So it was really fun and much easier than I expected before. It was
Yeah.
almost harder to go back home again, to be honest. It was it was so relaxed in that bubble. Everything was served. It was a nice hotel, a spa hotel. So
Wow.
yeah, it was very relaxed.
And I mean, especially with Energy Standard, it seems like a lot of you guys train together outside of the ISL, in Hungary, or sorry, in Turkey anyway. And so being back on that team for a second season was, can you tell me just about like the team dynamic and what that was like in those 6 weeks?
We had so much fun together. We played a lot of Mario Kart, and yeah, it was fun. It was a good team spirit, and it was nice to get to know more of the swimmers. I knew some of them that I've been training with, like you said, in Turkey, but there was a few swimmers that I didn't know that well, but it was really nice to get to know them more during those 6 weeks.
Yeah, and just going to the swimming aspect of it, specifically the Energy Standards female 400 free relay. I think you guys are now undefeated in 2 seasons of ISL. But as the matches progressed, did you all have goals or talk about that relay beforehand, or would you just kind of every match step up to the blocks and just swim fast?
Yeah, that's all we can do. Like, I know the coaches probably does a lot of the planning around, and but then we know what to do when we go behind the blocks. All we can do is like try to swim as good as possible. But yeah, it was so much fun to do that relay every time, and all the relays and all the racing was so much fun there.
Yeah. Do you feel like, you said coming into the bubble, you felt really strong in the water. Do you feel like that just got better and better as you progressed through so much racing?
Well, actually, I felt the best on my first competition, and then we had 2 week break, and I got some problem with my back after like 1 week of rest, and then I missed the second match, and then I felt like it didn't really come back. I tried so much harder on the next competitions after that, but I don't know why, but I just lost the feeling that I got better and better. So I just had to fight for every race in that in those last 3 weeks there. But I'm just happy that I was able to go back to racing again. I didn't know if I was allowed to keep on racing after that back problem I had, but I made it back, and I was swimming quite well, even though I didn't have that power left really. But yeah, it's yeah, it was fun to be able to go back to racing again, and Yeah.
Do you feel like that was the back problem something that was kind of easily taken care of once you returned from Budapest?
Definitely. It was just very bad timing. I had some back problems before, but not very big, and it happens usually during training, or and then if I just take like 3 or 4 days off, it's usually fine after that. But it was just very bad timing. And then because I knew it was bad timing, it made me a little bit stressed, and then my back problem, usually everyone with back problems know that stress is not very good, so I probably made it worse by stressing about it. So yeah, but I was back on match number 3, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah, and then after the bubble, you weren't able to return to Turkey, correct?
Yeah, so I after the bubble, obviously it was 6 weeks away from home, and then you need to go back home after that and spend some time with the family. And yeah, so I didn't feel like going back to a training center after staying in the bubble for 6 weeks anyway. But yeah.
So then have you just been in Sweden ever since the
Yeah.
second season of ISL?
Yes.
And how has training in Sweden been over the fall and winter this year?
It's been good. I really enjoy training in Sweden. I mean, I've been traveling a lot the last 10 years. And actually the last 1.5 year when COVID started, I haven't traveled that much at all. I've been to Turkey maybe, twice, and to Budapest. But it's been quite nice to just stay in my home a little bit and relax and not travel everywhere. I miss it a lot. I wanna get back to that lifestyle again, but it's been quite nice to get to know my boyfriend a little bit. We've been together for like 9 years, but we haven't really spent more than like 1 week together without me traveling somewhere. So yeah, it's been quite nice to just take some downtime and relax.
That seems really nice. So looking forward a little bit. So before this elbow injury, did you have a set lineup of events that you were planning on focusing on at the Olympics this year?
Yeah, definitely. 50, 100 free, and 100 fly. Still my main events. We'll see what I will be able to race in the summer. It's gonna take a couple of weeks and probably months before I will be able to swim butterfly again. But all I can do is try now, and then we'll see what events I will swim. I will definitely have 50 free in my program. I think I can survive at 50, but we'll see about the rest.
Makes sense. And then in terms of kilometers, how much are you kicking now?
Every session is about 3 or 3.5K kicking, mixed with fins and without fins. So it's quite a lot. I'm normally not used to doing more than like 1K kicking per session. So and then I have like super heavy leg exercises in the gym and spinning. So the kicking and the spinning and the leg workouts in the gym they're killing my legs a little bit, but I think it's good for me.
Yeah.
I hope it's good.
Between the kicking, the spinning, and the heavy gym workouts, which one's your favorite?
Oh, I don't know. I guess kicking in the pool then. I always start with the swimming, and then I do the gym, and then I end with spinning in the end of the day. So I always start with the most important one.
And does the kicking 3 to 3.5, is it pretty creative? Are you like doing a lot of different kind of stuff, or is it just 3100s or 10100?
No, it's quite creative. It's very creative. I'm working with Johan Wallberg with the Swedish National Elite Center in Stockholm, and he's super creative with the kick sets. So sometimes it's like 3 200s with 25 scissor kick, 25 side kick, 50-meter butterfly kick on back, and then 25 single arm. So it's like I have to think a little bit and okay, what am I doing now? And it's something different like every 25, every 50. So it's 3.5K is actually over quite quickly.
Makes sense. And then I know you're not swimming, but you can use one arm at times. Do you feel, just being back in the water the last few weeks, do you feel different in the water, just body position wise, or how your body's engaging with itself?
No, I feel quite good in the water. Even if I had 3 weeks out from the pool, but I didn't really have time to because I'm not using my other arm anything, so it's hard to know exactly how the feeling is, I think, because I always feel quite bad when I kick, so I can't say. It's just nice to be back in the pool, but I really miss starting using my arm and doing all those long pull sets. I really prefer that.
Makes sense. And have you gotten just in these last few weeks, have you gotten feedback from your coach just on how you're looking in the water, or what the kick's looking like, or the times you've gone on the kick sets?
I haven't really taken any times yet with my kicking. I like just doing. I'm watching the clock sometimes. I'm following some start times and stuff, but I'm not too interested in like exactly what time I'm swimming at the moment, especially because it was 3 very slow weeks, and then I used have to get back to things. I'm doing some progressive stuff sometimes, like 6 times 100, 1 to 3, 1 to 3, but I don't need to know my times all the time, especially because I'm mixing it with spinning and the gym stuff. I know my legs are tired anyway. So if I have progressive 1 to 3, I'm gonna try my best on the third one anyway, but sometimes I'm just like, don't tell me the time. It's not important now. But I'm gonna start doing that a little bit more now and maybe next week or so. But first I just wanted to get back to things, because I want to listen to how slow I am at the moment.
Fair enough. Well, Sarah, I really appreciate you taking the time to sit down and chat with me a little bit today. Any parting thoughts before we sign off?
No, I think I told you about a few different things about the injury and ISL, and yeah.
Well, awesome. I appreciate your time, and glad to hear that the recovery's going about as smoothly as it can.
Thank you so much for having me. It was fun.
Absolutely. You've been listening to the SwimSwam podcast. Stay tuned for new episodes every week. You can take SwimSwam podcast on the go by subscribing on your favorite podcast platform. Look for links in the description below, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos as well.